Hey, welcome to the Secret Sauce of Selling podcast brought to you by Novacy and Sander Israel. And today I have a super special guest on our show, and it's Dragan from Serbia. Dragan, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me in your podcast show, James. I know that you're a very famous person in Israel and broader than Israel, so I'm blessed and honored to be your guest.
Well, I'm honored to have you because you're
a man of the convictions.
Well, I've learned from the best.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for that great stroke. Please come every day. Well, it's great to have you. Why don't we take 30 seconds, tell the listeners who you are, where you're from, what you do.
Well, who am I and what I do? It's I have to separate my identity from my roles, okay? So my name is Dragan, and I am Dragan. I'm the human being dedicated to help other human beings to be the best as they can be in their lives. And what is my role? What is my role? To be father, to be, to be a friend, and to be students, and to be, of course, teacher to my clients. Actually, I run Sandler operations business for 3 countries in ex-Yugoslavia. It's Serbia, Croatia, and Slovenia. And well, one of the most important things I'd like to say about myself is that I would say what I teach, what do, and I do what I teach to others. I think that's most important, to be a product of a product. So let's say that's me.
I love it. I love it. So what's our topic today? What are we going to talk about?
Well, I had yesterday my regular Presence Club, session. And I said to my clients, I know that some of you are a member of Presence Club for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And now that you actually have been mastered the, Sandler methodology. I mean, dialogues and questions and reversing, and negative reversing. But one thing, you are going to slip down all your career, and it would be your convictions. Okay. You are going to fail every single day with your convictions. So your convictions is a trap that they are going to pull you down. So if you have strong convictions, I think that you can put your techniques and all the dialogues on the next level. So let's talk about convictions.
I love it. I love it. So when you say convictions, and for those listeners who are not, aware of sales performance methodology, they might be just getting into sales, or they've been selling for many, many years and haven't really taken on, a level of mindset that helps them really drive success. What does conviction really mean to you?
Conviction for me, it's the deepest core of my inner being. That's it. If you take away convictions of myself, I became nothing. Nothing, just my body, just flesh and nothing else. So what is the convictions? Convictions, Jesus Christ said, if you have a faith just like, little, I don't know how to express in English, you can move the mountains. So my conviction is there's 2 men staring on the night sky. And one say to another, do you see that stars? He said, what? I cannot see it. No, just watch my fingers. 2 inches on the left. Well, I cannot see, my friend. Can you help me? And the other guy said, it doesn't matter. It's all matter that I can see that star. So for myself, that's the convictions. What my eye is capable to see, or my mind is capable to conceive, my body will follow my mind, because my body will not follow what my mind cannot conceive or my eyes cannot see. So my body wants to stay in the comfort zone. Okay, so convictions for myself is to see just over the hill.
I love it. Yeah, we hear a lot of, salespeople and business owners and just, I say professionals. I think the number one, I love to ask people, do you like where you work? Do you like what you do? And I usually get one of 2 answers. They either say, well, yeah, I like the company and I like what I do. I don't really believe in the product, but I'm in a comfortable place. Others say, well, yeah, I believe I believe you have a great product. And they talk about conviction with regards to how they see what they sell. But you're saying they have to first have conviction about themselves. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Let's pretend that you're selling Rolex or Ferrari, price demanding products. In the first place, you have to become inner buyer of a product. You have to sell to yourself $500,000 product price in order to sell your prospect. So if you hesitate to sell yourself, if you don't have a convictions, how can you sell to your prospect $500,000 product? So the most sales manager, they take some blah blah sales personality, type of personality, blah blah people, because we think that it's a myth. The more you talk, the more you're going to be, the better in the sales.
Intellectual BS.
Okay, it makes sense. But if I don't have a conviction to sell myself Ferrari or my product or my presence club, I cannot sell to my prospect. So before I sell to my buyer, I have to sell to myself what I'm selling to my buyer. And it's a trap. So
yeah,
it's a kind of convictions we are talking about in this podcast.
Got to ask you, what's your secret sauce of selling?
Wow. What a secret sauce. The most pricey spice in every soup is a courage. Okay, and guts. The most demanding spice in every soup, and that soup costs a lot of money. It's not just an ordinary soup. It's a soup that you are going to pay $200, $300, just for one pot. It takes a courage. For myself, the courage, the first step we have to conquer in order to be successful not in the business, in the life. Because I strongly believe without personal growth, we cannot achieve, business heights and the stars. So for myself, the secret sauce in any soup is a courage and the convictions that goes together as a marriage.
Yeah. Think about how many salespeople wimp out every moment, every hour, every day. And I don't know many times if it's because they don't have courage or it's because they're afraid of using the courage. And that is that level of conviction. So what comes first, courage or conviction?
I would say behavior. I would say behavior. I asked my client recently, what is the price that you are striving to spit it out loud to your prospect that you are afraid? And he said 3 times, lower than I'm telling to my prospect. And I said, why? He said, because I have a fear that I'm going to lose my, prospect. And I said to him, would you like to say 3 times more, bigger price? He said, of course. And I said to him, this is the steps that you are going to do for the next call. He said, what? For the next call, you are going to say it loud to your prospect. You are not cost 10,000 and your cost is 3,000. Are you there to do that? He said, he was shaking. And he said, of course, I will do it. And I said to him, for the next President's Club session, you have homework to do. Don't show up on the next session on the President's Club if you fail with your homework. Instead, we have a deal. On the next President's Club session, he said, Dragan, I said to my prospect 3 times more price. And I said to him, explain me how did you feel about that? He said, I was afraid, but I got a deal. So the best way to conquer your new beliefs and your convictions is through the courage, actually through your behavior. Okay, so behavior actually is the secret sauce of
Yeah, I had a conversation yesterday with a friend, used to be a client, and she explained that she increased price tremendously. And what she did was, and this stuff we were working on, but I found she had a double courage on this. And the prospect or client says, how much is it going to cost? And she gave him the price, and he said to her, and it was very expensive. And he said to her, that is very expensive. And do you know what she did?
I can suppose,
She said it is, and that's it. And then she shut up.
Wow, great.
There was she said there was about a 2-minute pause. And she said, I was holding it in. I did not want to justify, explain, or defend, because I knew it wouldn't work. And that takes courage. So it takes courage to know what you're worth and to say it, but it takes courage to shut up because you believe in what you're worth. And I love that analogy. Dragan, I'd love to ask you, have you ever had any, I'm sure you've had, but have you ever had any screw ups or things that have gone wrong, terribly wrong, any failures that have gone terribly wrong that have helped you grow, that you've learned one of your greatest lessons? What would that be, if you don't mind sharing?
Absolutely. I'm just a man. I'm not Superman. And I'm telling to my clients and my students in President's Club, I'm just a man, and I'm learning every single day. Okay, that's why I think that I'm, let's say, a good trainer and good model for you. So I was emotionally involved in the sales call. And the CEO told me, we are the great worldwide company, IT company, and if you work with us, you're going to have a lot of things to do. I think that it will be contract for many years, Dragan, with us. And I said to him, okay, what is the next step? And he said to me, why don't you have, let's say, 1 hour Zoom with my sales team to tell them something about yourself? It was a hook. It was a hook. And I said, oh my God, it could be a, multi-million, contract. I was hooked. And I said, of course, why not? I was hooked. My child was hooked inside of me to speed up the knowledge and to be smart in front of my clients. Okay. When the CEO sent emails to all invitees, and including myself, I was reading, we will have a Dragan as a guest speaker. If we like, if we decide, if we like, if we decide. I was so blind, James. I was so emotionally hooked. After I realized the entire mail was actually against me. If we realized, if we like Dragan, actually...
He was asking them
yes,
to take you down.
Yes. And actually what he did, actually he was, I think, unconsciously, he put the guard wall up. And I was actually, just shoot me, nothing else. And I realized I lost the battle before the battle has started. And I said to myself, I will never, ever again in my life do the same. Why? Because I don't want to do your work. If someone needs to convince your people, it's not me. It is you. And that was my, failure. But okay, James, I learned a lot about my failure.
Send that man a nice, expensive bottle of whiskey because he helped you realize, he gave you a lesson that is worth millions.
Yeah. It's $1 million lesson.
Can I share similar insight? It's like, asking, I work with my clients, and if anyone's listening to this, how many times have you sent a proposal and it's blown up in your face? Probably in most cases, right? So many times when the prospect is asking you for a proposal because they want to show it internally, what they're actually in many cases doing is they're asking you, please give me evidence why we should not work with you.
Absolutely. Great insight.
And that's what they do. They take that proposal, they take it internally, and everyone's like, are you crazy? Or this and the other, right? And then nothing happens. And so don't send proposals. Now, I know that sounds crazy, and I know it sounds a little crazy, but my clients don't send proposals. I don't send proposals. Proposals don't get you business. Proposals get you nothing.
But James, what do you think? How is it hard or easy to understand this concept? Don't send proposal. It's not easy. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's a twisting it takes to twist your mind. Traditional sales trainers, they teach us how to sell proposal. We teach to not sell proposal. It's against you. It's against you.
How about never give a discount? There's another one. I hope people are not listening. If you're still on this, then never discount. Never, ever give anything away for free, ever. Discounting is for the spineless. You have to grow a spine, not a wishbone.
So, Mr. Prospect, if you ask me for discount, tell me to understand, to learn the lesson. What have I said to you improperly or wrong in order to ask me for discount? What have I done wrong? It's my reversing. Okay, because usually when prospect wants to do business with me, they never ask me for discount. So that's why I'm confused. Tell me, what have I done wrong? But it's a different state of the level of our mind. So that's why we have an obligation, James, you and me, and each one trainers around the world. We have to tell our prospects up front. It will make the breakthrough in your life, teaching Sandler, but it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. And I strongly believe this is not for everyone.
Yeah. And it's interesting because a lot of times when I usually start a training session. So when I typically ask salespeople, managers, what are the biggest challenges, or let's pretend you had a superpower. What would it be? And in most cases, they say, if only I knew what my prospect was thinking, if only I knew what was going through their head. And a lot of times it's because we just, most people just don't observe well enough, or they don't have their antenna up. They don't have their ears open. Take Novasi, for example, which is a great platform to help people realize what's happening on the other side, but it doesn't mean that you can keep on talking. You still have to ask questions. You still have to be other-centered. You still have to shut up and really dive deep to understand the compelling reasons of why that prospect is in front of you, and not focus on yourself. So I really connect to what you're saying. And I'd like to ask you, let's pretend a perfect world. You had a super magic wand, and you could cast a spell across the world and make prospects immediately do one thing that would help sellers do their job more effectively. What would it be? If you could change something in the prospect's head, what would it be? Okay.
There is a certain amount of prospects or clients that they are willing and able to pay to go in the orbit. Cosmic flight. Okay. There's a certain amount of the people that they are willing and able, and they have a faith and beliefs and convictions to buy Bugatti of $16 million US. There is significant, a lot of people, they would pay for diamonds, for Rolex, for Sandler, So just one more, I prefer to have just one more thing. And it is his adult state of mind. Okay, tell me, I'm listening. I'm willing to listen to you. So because I strongly believe, in order to hunt my ideal client, I have to risk to lose you. So what does it mean? I have to risk to lose you in order to have you. It means I have to do my job. And my job is to take you through the compartment. It means just to follow the system. I believe I just want ideal client. Who is ideal client? Ideal client is someone who is not fight with me, period. He's willing and able to listen and to understand. Okay. And that's it.
Yeah, I love the adult piece. I mentioned it earlier today. Sales is it's a conversation between two adults about the truth. That's what it is. 100%. And I love that. If only people could be more adult. If only we could put our ego aside, focus more rationally on the reasons and why things are important. I believe that it would be probably a better world for both sides. Awesome. Well, Dragan, let me ask you this. I mean, you've been in personal and professional development long enough. You know, how do you develop yourself? What do you do? Are there any podcasts you like to listen to? Any books you're focusing on? Any kind of personal development program, stuff like that?
Okay. Well, beside of the conference, we are attending every single year a lot of conferences and speaking and empowering myself with, through my other colleagues, including you. I am doing a lot on daily basis. I would say role play theaters with myself. Okay, because I strongly believe just two stuff my prospects are buying from me. The first one are my dialogues. I'm the master of the dialogues. I have a dialogues for every single industry, for every single niche. I have a lot of dialogues. People pay me because of knowledge of my dialogues, my portfolio, my basement of my dialogues. And the second one, they buy my convictions. So I invest every single day 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes practicing dialogues. The toughest dialogues and toughest scenario. And I'm practicing a lot to be state of the mind. Well, I don't need your business. Okay, we can talk, of course. We can talk. Recently, I was asked, Dragan, can you help me in this? I said, wow, it sounds difficult. I'm not sure. And he said, he was strong D, and he said, so why did you come? And I said to him, I have come to understand, am I able to help you? But in order to know that, I need to ask you a couple of questions. Are you reasonable to ask you? It was the moment I catch his adult. And he said, okay, go ahead.
And this is an important piece, because at the end of the day, most people they're buying on autopilot. They're buying from their subconscious. They don't even know that they're doing it. They don't even realize.
Bravo.
And if you look outside the window, listeners, if you looked outside the window and you look around you, you'll notice everyone's on autopilot. Your subconscious is controlling. It's 95% of what we do is our subconscious. Carl Jung has a beautiful quote I love to use, and he said, "Until you turn your subconscious into your conscious, it will control your life, and you will call it fate." I'll say it again: until you turn your subconscious into your conscious, it will control your life, and you will call it fate. And I think this is an excellent example of why there are so many sellers out there that are miserable, that are fed up, that feel washed up, that keep on going through the same cycle over and over and over again. And they don't realize that they're basically being controlled by their subconscious to just do that cycle over and over again. And I think the lucky ones, the successful ones, are those that are able to let go, start to realize, understand, keep their mouths shut, and start acting, as you said, like adults and not like babies.
Well, that's a great analogy, but it takes a lot of hard work inside of yourself. It takes a lot, but it will be pays off if you do hard work on your subconscious. Absolutely agree with you.
And that's what separates professionals from amateurs. Very simple. Professionals invest in themselves. They work, and at the end of the day, it's all about learning how to develop the muscles.
I think, I don't know what is your opinion, but self-conscious and be present at the moment in the sales call, for me, is the pure gold. To be present at the moment, it is the moment that you are capable to see that fist is coming to punch you. Okay. And you have to do something like matrix.
You have to move aside, yeah.
Okay. So you said correctly, people in many cases, they speaking to you and try to buy on autopilot program. And we need to help them to understand that they are on the autopilot. And we need to help them to reprogram their state of the mind. To reprogram the state of the mind. It's not easy, but if you know some of the basics, techniques or methodologies, Sandler, you can do it very successfully.
Yeah, and also, if you look at, there's so much technology today out there that can help you see what's really happening. You take NovaC, you take the types of platforms that, you can record your calls. And I encourage salespeople. I know it's hard for them sometimes to do. I find salespeople struggle in two main areas. One is role playing. You mentioned that earlier. They don't like to do it. They don't like to role play. And two is watching themselves on the sales calls. But if you look at those videos and you watch your prospects and you see the way the prospects behave, you'll notice that they're also on autopilot. Our job is to get them to wake up, to get them to understand, wait, I have a bigger problem that I brought. And I think that's the biggest challenge. And so, just wrapping things up, first of all, Dragan, this has been great. We should do more of these. I really appreciate your insight and love having these deep conversations about what's really important. I think my question to you is, wrapping up, what is the one giveaway you'd like to give the listeners when it comes to conviction, courage, mindset, and just doing the right thing?
Oh, that's okay. That's a tough question because it's not easy. I would say this: golden eagle is the bird capable to hunt a wolf. Okay. So why the golden eagle risking attacking every single time the wolf? There's three reasons. The first one is it is his nature. Okay. The second one, he knows he can. Okay. And the third one, every single time when he's attacking the wolf, actually he's ready to die for something. And in spite of that, he's still attacking and risking. So if you have something to die for, actually you have something to live for. Find inside yourself, what is something that you are ready to die for? And you are going to have reasons why to live for something. Because the human being, every Homo sapiens, is a being of the purpose. If I know the purpose of my life and why am I doing this, I'm not a sales trainer because I want to make money. I'm a sales trainer because I love people. And I love people and like to help people. That's it.
I love it. Dragan, you're the best, my friend. Thank you so much. Thanks to all listeners. I hope you took a few pieces of gold, a few nuggets off today's podcast. Next time, we're going to come back with a really interesting episode. And till then, sell well, be good, have fun, and be gutsy.
Yeah.
All the best.
Thank you.
Bye.